What's up, subscribers? Ben Kukanis here from FantasyPoints.com. I wanted to make this quick tutorial now that our DFS optimizer is up and running. It's still in beta mode, but it's been up for this will be the third week that it's up, so I wanted to make this quick video to help people out in terms of how to best utilize it. We do have a step-by-step quick start guide on there as well, but I figured it couldn't hurt to make a quick video. You can access it in a number of different ways. You can just head right to FantasyPointsOptimizer.com, or you can access it from our site via the Downloads and Tools drop-down. And again, it is still in beta mode, so while we do recommend against people reserving a few $1,000s worth of lineups until we move it out of beta mode, everything is fully functional, but we still just want to reiterate that we are continuing to work on the tool as the weeks go on. So here on the optimizer homepage, you can do a number of different things, whether it is choosing the different sites that you're playing on, how many lineups you want to export. You can currently optimize up to 150 lineups. If you want to stack your QB with a wide receiver tight end, if you want to stack your running back with the respective team's DST as well. You can also toggle the eligibility for the flex players, running back, wide receiver, tight end. You can filter between all games, main slate, Sunday early, or Sunday or Monday. You can also manually do this just by checking off the team boxes here, and that's actually going to come in handy considering the recent news of the Steelers-Titans game postponement. And finally, from here, you can toggle the diversity level that you want your lineups to be. Do you want your lineups for the most part to be very similar, in which case you can toggle the diversity to low, or do you want high variance and lots of different mix-ups in your lineups, in which case you can toggle to high. In a second, we're going to get into player settings, but to do this very quickly, let's say I'm playing on DraftKings. I do want to stack my QB with a wide receiver. I only want to pay attention to the main slate, and let's say I want to generate 5 lineups here. Now, like I said before, you can manually select which games you want to include and which games you want to leave off. For instance, if I go from main slate to Sunday early, it's going to eliminate the later games. If I want all games, nothing will be grayed out. But if I'm focusing on main slate, the Thursday game as well as the Sunday night and Monday game will be grayed out. Now, the good thing about being able to customize which games you want to include, not just, if there's a game that you're not interested at all in for fantasy, let's say you're thinking it's going to be just a low scoring, slugfest blow for blow, no appeal there. But also considering that news of Tennessee and Pittsburgh's game has just been postponed to later in the season, I'm going to go ahead and manually uncheck these boxes, Tennessee and Pittsburgh. So now the optimizer will only optimize everything from the following teams in the following games. Now from here, we can either click Optimize right here, in which case it'll generate lineups, show salary, projected points, as well as the starters. You'll notice that I did select to stack my QB with the wide receiver, so we have Dak, and Dak on 4 of them, stacked with CD, Cooper, and CD Lamb on this last one. And for team 4, we have Russell Wilson stacked with DK Metcalf as well. Again, you can also select to toggle by stacking with a tight end as well. Now, the other thing you can do is you can head back to the main screen. We're going to keep all of these settings the same. But if I want to get a little more specific, if I want to, let's bring the variance up, the diversity up a little bit. If I want to get a little more creative, I'm going to go ahead and click Player Settings. And from here, you can filter through position or just look at all of the players. You can filter by salary. You can filter by value, which is the fantasy points per dollar. The projections here, the points projections you see here are the fantasy points weekly projections. And over here, looking at the exposure min and exposure max, as well as the lock exclude features. All we're basically doing here is telling the optimizer the minimum amount of exposure we want to a certain player and the maximum amount of exposure we want to them. Also over here, we can tell the optimizer to just proceed as normal, which is auto. We can tell the optimizer to exclude a certain player from every lineup. And we can also tell the optimizer to lock a player into every lineup. So so no matter what, if I want Jonathan Taylor this week in every single lineup, I'm going to go ahead and click lock him into every single lineup. If I am fed up with Joe Mixon and don't want him in any of my lineups at all, I'm going to go ahead and click exclude, toggle to exclude for Joe Mixon. So right now, everything the optimizer spits out nothing will include Joe Mixon, and every lineup, one way or another, will include Jonathan Taylor. If I head back to all and just play around with QBs here, let's say I want a lot of Josh Allen in my lineups, but I don't necessarily want, he doesn't need to be locked into all of them. Yeah, we can say I want him in at least 50% of the lineups, but no more than 80% of the lineups. Let's say we want a little bit of exposure to Cam Newton, but not that much. So we'll go ahead and put 10% exposure for Cam Newton, and 10% minimum and 25% maximum exposure to Cam Newton as well. And you can do this to for any player you want. Quick search for filter by name, and that pretty much does it. So if I go and click optimize here again, same thing will happen. So I said I wanted more exposure to Josh Allen than others, and I wanted a little bit exposure to Cam Newton. And out of these 5 lineups, the optimizer churned out 3 lineups with Josh Allen and 1 lineup with Cam Newton, still 1 lineup with Dak Prescott. You'll notice also we had Jonathan Taylor as locked into all of our lineups, and we find him on team 1 here, team 2 here, team 3 here, team 4 here, and team 5 here. You also won't see any Joe Mixon in these lineups because I excluded him from every lineup as well. Here, the next step that you can do is you can go ahead and export your optimized lineups into CSV file, and from there what you're able to do is upload those CSV files and those lineups into DraftKings or FanDuel. So right now I have it toggled, or I had it set to DraftKings, so if I click this button down here to export, so this just exported a CSV lineup of all of these ready to be imported into DraftKings. All right, I'm now here at DraftKings, and this is really easy of how to upload those exported lineups into DraftKings. So when you're on DraftKings, all you're going to do is head over to lineups. You can see I've already uploaded a few of them, but you're going to head over to lineups. You're going to click upload lineups, upload CSV, and then you're just going to choose the file that you want to upload. And if all goes well, it should give you successfully uploaded 5 out of 5 lineups. It'll even give you the breakdown of what each roster looks like. From there, you can go ahead and view those lineups. Again, I had already uploaded a few, so that's why you see more than 3 or more than 5 lineups on here. And from here, if you wanted to make any last minute adjustments, you can edit or you can join these lineups into different contests. All right, I'm now on the FanDuel page and just want to show you a couple ways to do it here on FanDuel in terms of uploading your lineup. So if we are to go over, if you generated 50, 100, 150 lineups for the Millie Maker, FanDuel makes it pretty easy as well. You're just going to go ahead and click on the contest that you want to enter. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, you can upload lineups from CSV right here. So download a CSV template, which includes all players. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to click open and I'm going to click upload. Make sure you have enough money in your account. And I'm going to go ahead and click enter 5 lineups and give it a second. It'll enter the lineups. You can go over to upcoming and see all of your lineups right here. So that's pretty much the best way to use the optimizer. So again, a quick rundown. All your main settings are here on the main page. Choose which site you're working on, how many lineups you want to generate, whether you want to stack your QB with a wide receiver or tight end, if you want to stack your running back with the DST, which positions you want flex eligibility to be for, how diverse do you want your lineups to be, what slate are you looking at, and then again over in player settings you can toggle the exposure amount as well as players you want to either include in all lineups or exclude in all lineups as well. Good luck this week and for the rest of the season, and hopefully this optimizer can help you win some cash.